Hey friends, I'm Jamie Maddox, your wealth embodiment mentor. I teach how you are uniquely designed to attract wealth. In this podcast, I talk about body mapping and money. Body mapping is a unique map on your body that gives information, instructions, and direction for you specifically. Each episode, I highlight one area of the body, discuss its features, and more importantly, what that means for you and your money. So welcome. I'm excited to be on this journey together and can't wait to see what your body can teach you about money. Welcome back, everybody. And what did you think of last week's episode? Was it helpful to hear and experience a Discover Your No session? Some of you have reached out and shared, and I love that. If there are any others of you, I would love to hear from you. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you for sharing the podcast. Thank you for all of your support. I greatly appreciate it. So just thank you, and I appreciate you so much. Okay, so today we are doing the episode that I have not wanted to do. Are you guys so ready for this? I hope that got you a little bit intrigued because let's be real. I've known that I've needed to do this episode for quite a while, and I've actually had more than one person bring it up that they want this episode, and I'm like, yeah, that's nice. Great, glad you want that. And then finally I was like, no, it's time. It is time to do this. And here's a reason why I hesitate or have hesitated. And it really is the only reason is because, number one, I really want you to be gentle and kind with yourself because the belly, especially in women, tends to be somewhat of a sensitive, I don't know if sensitive subject is the best way, but there just seems to be a lot with women and their belly. And honestly, it's usually the place that the majority of women don't like about their body, okay? And so I hesitate more just because I'm like, my hope for this episode is that, number one, that you can have a different perspective about your body and your belly. And especially if it's a place on your body that you don't specifically love right now, I hope that you can find greater peace and understanding and being able to just see it more from a neutral, more of a safe perspective. Okay. So is everyone on board? If you listen to this episode, if you continue on going forward listening, then I'm going to say that you are choosing in to being kind to yourself. Okay. With whatever you learn or get deeper understanding on, you get to be really kind, loving, and gentle. And here we go. Okay, so when my daughter was younger, she had a little bit of a belly. And obviously, me as her mother, it was not a big deal, right? Like, it was just her body, okay? But and honestly, I never asked her thoughts on it because I didn't want it to be an issue because it wasn't. It's just her beautiful body, right? And so I remember this one day, all of a sudden, she starts talking about big fella. And I was like, what is she talking about? Okay, she's probably like 5 or 6 at this time. I don't remember exactly when, but I mean, she's pretty young, right? And so I was like, sweetheart, what do you mean big fella? And she, with the biggest grin on her face, she just pats her belly and she goes, big fella, my stomach. And honestly, we both burst out laughing, okay? Because, it was just it was so genuine, okay? And I was like, oh, really? Why is it big fella? She's like, well, because it's big. And she's like, it's big fella. So she had given her stomach, her belly, this name of big fella, okay? So it became a joke with us that her belly was big fella. So every so often, she would just be like, big fella, you hungry? And so then she'd go eat, or, there would just be these different things that she would do. And then she wouldn't talk about big fella for a while, and then she would bring it back. And it was just always the funniest thing, okay? So it became this really fun, connective thing for us. And here was the fascinating thing, okay? The minute that she loved and embraced big fella, her belly actually went down. Okay, now I'm not saying that, number one, that's going to happen for any of us, And it shouldn't be the intention for doing it, okay? Because part of the reason why I believe that her belly did go down is because she had actual, genuine, deep love for her belly, okay? And it became just like this extra person in the family, right? And what I love is that, like I said, it was deep acceptance and love for a part of her body that maybe other people wouldn't have loved or appreciated as much. And that's where I feel like the genuine change came from. Okay. So, number one, if you need to name your belly, my friends, please name your belly. And will you tell me your names? Because I will be delighted and I will laugh with you and just be so excited with you. And so whether you choose Big Fella or some other name, let me know, because it was delightful and it still makes me laugh to this day. So what's the belly? Like, what does it mean in body mapping, right? Okay, our belly is all about our connection and creation. So creativity, it's for women specifically, it's a part of our womb space. So whether or not you have a uterus, all women have a womb space. And that is the center of creation, okay? So it is very much about our creations, our capacity to create, and then specifically our connection. So when you think about the belly, it has the belly button, right? The belly button connects us with our physical mother when we are a baby. It is also our connection to our heavenly parents. And regardless of your religious background or no religion, pick your word, the divine, God, universe, anything. I tend to go with God or heavenly parents. So it is our connection and our creations and our capacity. Okay. And I just want you to think about those three together. Like, isn't that amazing that in the same area of your body, you have your ability to connect, create, and then have the capacity to nurture it and develop it. So when you're connected, you're going to get ideas, you're going to get direction, you're going to get steps, you're going to find your purpose when you're connected. Then we have this beautiful ability to create. And I'm not just talking about like physical creation as far as babies, okay? I'm talking creation in every aspect of life. There's a great quote from Dieter F. Uchtdorf, and this was years ago, I can't remember, but he said, create something daily. And it was a time in my life when I was at an extremely low point, and I thought, okay, I'm just going to create something daily. And that determination and me following through on creating something daily brought me out of some of the darkest times. And still to this day, it is still one of my mantras. And when I tend to forget it, I'm like, man, things are kind of being a little rough again. I'm like, oh yeah, let's create. Okay. So that can look like creating something in the physical world. It can be creating order. It can be creating words of love. Creation can go everywhere. That's not the specific direction of this podcast episode, but I feel like that was very pertinent. Okay. So when we're connected, we then have this desire and direction to create. And then we have this capacity to actually let it come to fruition. Okay. One of the fascinating and most beautiful things about our belly is that it is constantly changing. I mean, think about it, you guys. When we are super hungry and we haven't eaten, sometimes our belly's a little bit smaller. And then when we eat a whole bunch, especially, let's be honest, we just had the holidays. So maybe some of us, ate a little bit more than we tend to, right? Sometimes, like when we get really full, our belly can be a little bit bigger. Okay, so our belly is constantly changing. It is actually one of the things that shows us that there can be flexibility. There can be change. It can be easy and quick to have flexibility and change. Now, I know some of you are like, yeah, well, no, my belly doesn't change that much because I'd actually like it to change and it's not. Okay. I just heard someone say that and that was really funny. And I hear you. Okay. So yes, for some of you, you're like, well, that's great. Can we go from, this size to this size? Okay. So with that being said, part of our belly is also our waist. And this is all going to kind of tie in together. So our waist, the more defined a waist, the more willing you are to be vulnerable and let people see you and let people see through you. Okay. So if you put your hands down to the side and you can, if your arms don't fully line up with the sides of your body, so if there's like a gap that you can see through, that indicates that you're more willing to let people see you and see through you. If your arms lay flat against the side of your body, that shows that at this time, you don't actually feel that safe or usually very safe to be seen or have people see through you, okay? And this can be for so many different reasons, okay? And this is why please take this as information, and it doesn't need to mean anything good or bad about you, okay? It is simply information. Because here's the thing, if that's how your body is right now, that's how your body feels safest right now. And so let your body feel safe. Thank it. Thank your belly, whatever size, shape, anything it is right now. I invite you to thank it and say, thank you for protecting me. I may not fully understand it and I may not actually fully love it or appreciate it all the time, but thank you for being willing to protect me from things that I don't even know that I feel like I need to be protected from. And just start saying that to your belly while you just touch it in a loving way, okay? Touch your belly in a loving way, okay? Because our bellies do protect us. Sometimes, this is just through my experience of working with women and myself, sometimes our belly protects us from our creations. Sometimes we have it there because we're ashamed or feel shame of our creations. And this could be because of their choices, our choices, the situation. I mean, there are so many things. But I do invite you to check in on that, because when I had that understanding, it helped a lot, because it was just like, okay, you know what? I don't need to take on the actions of what I have created. Once it is created, it has a life of its own and it gets to experience that life as it chooses. The creations, again, regardless of whether it's a person or a non-person creation, it has its own life and its own choice and its own direction. So when we can truly disconnect us from our creations and we feel safe with our creations, it helps our belly not have to have a barrier there, okay? Now, sometimes people that have more fat around their belly, it can indicate a barrier. And what I mean by that is that a lot of times either we've been told that we're too much or not enough or, X, Y, or Z, right? And so actually, rather than us feeling like we can't handle the world, sometimes it's the world can't handle us, okay? Which is, I think that is one of the coolest things ever. Like when I learned that with body mapping, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so true. A lot of times we've been told that like we're too much or we're too loud, we're too opinionated or we're too quiet or we're too whatever. And so we literally are like, well, then I'm going to protect the world from me. Okay. So I'm just going to protect the world from me. Okay. Which sounds so funny, right? I hope you chuckle at that. Okay. Because the world doesn't need to be protected from you. Okay. So this is really funny, but it came to mind. So there's a show, it's called The Millionaire Matchmaker, and it actually aired like years ago, but it's currently on Netflix. And there was one season a few years ago that was on Netflix when I originally found it. Anyway, so there is a matchmaker. Her name is Patty Stinger, and she works with millionaires to find them love. Okay. And she is a firecracker. Okay. I mean, she just says it how it is. Now, I do actually appreciate that, mostly because I have had to work on knowing when it's appropriate to tell it how it is and to work on my delivery. Okay. But I was watching an interview on one of the episodes last night, and the interviewer said, well, do you ever feel like maybe you should hold back? Like maybe you shouldn't say all of the stuff that you say because, you have offended a lot of people, right? And I believe she's Jewish. And so she said, she's like, after one particularly kind of offensive thing, she's like, I did kind of go into hiding for a week. And she said, I went to the beach and I was just walking and talking with God. And I said, and she asked God, she's like, should I stop sharing? Should I more or less like shut down my voice, like quit speaking and quit being me, quit being who I am? And she's like, I got a definitive no, keep being you. And she's like, can I work on my delivery? Absolutely. Can I work on some of my anger issues? Absolutely. But she's like, but I'm not going to stop sharing. Okay. Because here's the thing, as I'm watching it, I'm like, she has so many reasons to shut down her voice, to not say things how they are, to protect the world from her. Okay. She gets a lot of comments. And I just loved her response. Number one, that she connected with God. Okay. She connected with her higher power. And she checked in. She said, is this something that I need to change? And it was like, no, don't change who you are. Keep doing what you are. Sure, you can, if you want, tweak it, continue to improve yourself, but don't shut down who you are. The world doesn't actually need protection from you, even if that's what we've been told. So I really invite you to check in. Have you been told that the world needs to be protected from you? Because if so, it's a lie, okay? Because God doesn't make mistakes, and you are who you're meant to be, and your unique strengths are exactly what's needed to create what you were meant to create, okay? And you have the ability and the capacity to bring things to fruition, to bring them to creation. Because when we're looking at this from a wealth perspective and from money perspective, there are infinite ways to make money, okay? Infinite ways to make money. I mean, one of my favorite things is to look at, just like random items on Amazon, or when I just see these weirdest products that I'm like, what in the world? Like, who even thought of this? And anyway, I'm like, well, someone thought of it, someone created it, and they're actually making money. I mean, that's the fascinating thing, is that a lot of these weird, crazy, wild things, people make money. And it delights my little Aquarius heart. I'm an Aquarius moon, to see all these weird, random things being created and then making people money. Because if you have the idea and the drive and the direction to bring something to creation, you are meant to do it, and you can make money doing it. Okay. I can feel it. Okay. So if you don't believe it, that's okay. Do some breath work. Go check out my website, and I have breathwork sessions there that are trauma informed. And I actually just put that you can do a 30-day free trial of the breathwork. So if you don't like it, cancel in 30 days. You're not charged anything. Go do some breathwork on this, because if you don't believe that your creations can benefit you and make you money and give you the wealth and the lifestyle that you desire, then let's start working on that. And it is a mindset piece, but let's start with our body, because you have to feel it. My friends, we keep going back to that. You have to feel it in your body. You have to process the actual chemical emotions in your body. And like I was saying, it's uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie. It doesn't have to be hard, but it can be really uncomfortable. And believe me, there are so many times when I'm processing feelings and I'm like, I hate this. I don't want to do this. And that's actually part of it. Let yourself think that. Let yourself feel that. Okay. Because that's part of processing it, is being like, actually, I don't want to feel this, and I don't want to do this. And I'm still willing to do this because I want what is beyond my discomfort. I want it so much that I am willing to be uncomfortable for a little bit. And when I pass through that discomfort, new possibilities open up, new capacity opens up, new connections, new creations, new possibilities. And then you're usually more willing to be seen, to be vulnerable. And even if it is only to be seen by yourself to yourself. to be more vulnerable to yourself. Being vulnerable is being honest, is sharing the truth. Okay. That's what true vulnerability is. And it's usually when it's hardest to be honest with yourself or to other people and say, actually, this is what I want, or this is what I don't want. This is what I'm willing to do. This is what I'm not willing to do. Friends, that is hard. And it opens up beautiful things, because when you get honest with yourself and you say, this is actually what I want, and then you start sharing it vulnerably, guess what? It works out for the best for everybody. And you start to actually live in alignment with you, and things start to be beautiful. And that doesn't mean there aren't pieces that need to shift and move and adjust in your life. Absolutely. But it can be easy, and it can be simple, and you can love yourself through it, and you can see yourself, and you can have so much of this goodness. Oh, do you feel that? Okay, that's what I want for each of you. So when you are looking at your belly, let it be your reminder that you can choose you, that you can connect, that you can be yourself, and that by being yourself, you'll actually get what you really want in life. But you have to be honest with yourself about what you want, where you're hiding, where you want to go. Because let me tell you, we're going to go back to the Millionaire Matchmaker. If she hadn't been so vocal and honest, number one, she probably couldn't have handled a lot of the people that she matched and put together. Because, obviously we only see a fraction of who she has worked with, but there are some people that I'm like, oh, I wouldn't talk to that person. Wow, she's really nice to continue working with them. And wow, she found them love. Holy cow, I'm impressed, okay? But she actually needed to have this very strong, very direct voice to be so successful and do what she's really good at and what she was meant to do, right? So trust that maybe your gifts that you feel like you need to hide or want to hide or have had to hide are the gifts that are going to get you where you want to go, to actually have the wealth. That means your money, your health, your relationships, okay? And that you actually get to be loved for all of those things and for all the pieces of you. But that love starts with yourself. So how was this? Was it worth it? Are you guys glad I did this episode? I have to say, from my end, it actually was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So lesson to self, don't always put things off. With that being said, I know it's airing and happening exactly when it needs to. Everything's in perfect timing. But let me know if this resonated. Let me know if you name your belly and if it changes your relationship with your belly. And I just hope you have the absolute most beautiful week, that you are able to just find a deeper level of connection with yourself, with God, with your creations, with your directions. Because you know what? 2025 is your year. Okay? We're just going to put it out there for everybody. Let it be your year. Let it be the year that you choose you. And no matter what direction and how that looks, you get to be true to yourself. So I love you, and I will talk to you next week. Thanks for listening. Make sure to check back each week for the newest content about your body and your wealth. If you've enjoyed this episode, please share with your friends and give it a 5-star review. Make sure to visit healinghopewithjamie.com for new offers, retreats, and ways to embody your wealthy life.